Hey all, Tony Bing here, hello and welcome to another in-depth review for Marvel Strike Force. Now in today's video we will have a look at the God of Thunder himself, the awesome Thor. Now in the video we will start off by looking at where you go to unlock him. We'll also check out his tags because this can be relevant as to what campaign the character we're looking at can actually help out in. We then check out the stats, follow that up by having a look at their abilities. Next up we check up the synergies, and this is the teams the character can work in and also characters you want to avoid when playing as a particular hero. And then finally we end up by seeing where he places in the tier list as well. But first off we'll start off by looking at a general overview. So this is where you unlock him, and also we have a look at his tags. When it comes to unlocking Thor, then it can be a bit of a slow slog, but it is most definitely worthwhile. Now we can get 5 tokens for him from the raid store. The way the raid store actually works is it will show 3 different characters at a time, and it does rotate randomly. So sometimes you'll get them a few times in a row, great, you can start starring them up. Other times I've seen them not appear for a day or two, which can be a bit frustrating, but you will eventually get there with them. So that's the raid you go to get the shards for them. When we look at the tags, it's Hero, Cosmic, Mystic, Blaster, Avenger, and then Asgard. They're actually all really good tags. You've got the Cosmic and Mystic, so you can help out in those campaigns. You've got Blaster, meaning you can help out in that infamous Blaster only challenge. And you've got Avenger, which I'm sure in time we will get some kind of event based around having an X amount of Avengers at a certain level. And then finally the Asgardian tag is only going to get more interesting as time goes on and we start to get characters like Loki and hopefully Odin and Heimdall and so on as well. That will be pretty awesome. But that's how you unlock him, and that's his tag. So next up we will have a look at his stats. As always then, quick rundown how we work out the stats here. So they're based on a rating from A to F. If there's any other observations that are relevant to the stats, I will include them in this section as well. The way I come up with this scale is I looked at the maximum and minimum stats for different characters, removed the outliers, and then I broke that down into the 6 different ratings. Now first up, what we'll do is we'll have a look at 3 offensive stats. When we look at the offensive stats for Thor, then it goes from one extreme to the other. You've got his damage, which is way up at B, so he's got one of the highest damage ratings in the game, and the amount of damage he can do when he uses his basic, which has got a high multiplier, is just insane. Absolutely love it. Now next up we have his speed. That's way down at F, so he's one of the slowest characters in the game, and his focus is down at F as well. So that means when he uses his stun, he's not going to have as high a chance of it actually applying there. So it's a bit of a pity, but characters need to have their strengths and their weaknesses, and when we look at the synergies section we see if we can actually make up for any of these weaknesses. But what he does also have as well, which puts his damage even higher, is through his passive you can get up to 15% damage for him, and you can also get up to 10% additional damage per Asgardian ally. So once we get more of them coming out, that could be exceptionally strong. But what we'll do now is we'll check out the defensive stats. When it comes to his defensive stats, then he actually does incredibly well for a blaster class. Generally these classes will be glass cannons. Now his health is way up at A, his armour is B, and one thing that is a bit on the lower side is his resistance. That means he can be susceptible to debuffs, so he can get slowed, and with his slow attack speed already that can really hurt him, so you do want to avoid that there. And he can also be stunned, but other than that he's very well rounded when it comes to stats. Huge damage, high health, so a lot of positives and very few negatives here. But next up what we will check out will be his abilities. For the abilities then, we'll have a look at his basic, special, ultimate and also passive. The tooltips that I'll bring up here will show the skill when it's actually maxed out, so that way you can see how the character can perform at their maximum potential. What I'll do when I'm talking about the skills as well is I'll actually let you know if it's one that you want to max out or one that you maybe want to stop a bit earlier, because not all the skills that you use scale as well. But the first one we check out, this is his passive, which is God of Thunder. So with this maxed out you gain 15% damage, pretty nice. and you also have gain 10% damage for each Asgardian ally. Now at the moment we don't have any other Asgardian allies in the game. Loki's hopefully going to come soon because he is a non-playable NPC, so that'll be an extra 10% there, and in time if we get more you can be looking at getting a whopping 55% extra damage on him. With how hard he already hits, I'm really quite excited to see how hard he could hit with a full Asgardian team, so I would say max this out. For his basic, we've got a pretty simple skill here, but one that can do a huge amount of damage. This is Hammer Uppercut. With this you attack the primary target for a huge 340% damage, so you factor that in with the high base damage rating he has and you can really absolutely annihilate foes with this. This particular skill I would say max it out because Thor is all about doing damage, so you want to upgrade the skills that will push that even further for you. For his special skill we've got a classic Thor move here where he throws Mjolnir and actually has a chance to chain off different targets as well. So it's called Hammer Throw, it takes 3 turns to charge, it comes fully charged so you can use it at the start of a fight. When it's maxed out you attack the primary target for 250% damage and it has a 70% chance to chain up to a huge 9 adjacent targets for 200% damage. Now I would say take this skill up to level 6 because the only thing you actually lose out on is 50% damage on the primary target. That drops from 250 down to 200, whereas the actual chance for it to chain, the number of targets it hits and the damage it does stays the same at level 6. Now with this saying adjacent targets, in testing it does seem that the target needs to be directly next to the one that you're actually starting off on for the chain to start, so just do bear that in mind because for a while I was throwing it and I really wasn't getting many chains, but now that I'm being more wary of that I'm seeing it fly around all the enemies and it's making it a whole lot more fun. For his ultimate skill we've got one of the best looking abilities in the game. This is Lightning Storm. Now it does take 5 turns to charge but it comes with 3 charges at the start of the fight. With this you attack all enemies for a huge 300% damage and you apply stun to target with a 30% chance to apply stun to all additional targets. Regarding how high you want to take this particular ability, I would actually max this out because this is similar to the basic in that Thor's all about doing damage, and this one, unlike the last skill when it's maxed out, you're doing additional damage to all targets, whereas with the special we were only doing additional damage to one target, so that's why it wasn't worth maxing this out. But this one you most definitely want to do that. But next up, what we'll do with the abilities covered is we'll have a look at the synergies. When it comes to characters that Thor can work well with, the most important thing that you need to address with him is his low attack speed, because his damage is fantastic as we've seen earlier, but the attack speed really does pull it down. So you want a character that can provide speed up. Your options being Black Widow if you started playing the game earlier on, or you're able to get to the top 500 in Blitz. Failing that, you can use Merc Lieutenant to speed him up, and he will actually provide him with a fence up as well, meaning he'll do even more damage. Next up you have Captain America. He would work good with him because being an Avenger, Thor will actually give Cap an extra 5% block chance, and also he'll have a higher chance of gaining energy from Captain America when he does use his taunt. Now finally I'm including a character that's not out here because I think it's safe to say that he could work well with Thor, and it is his troublesome brother, it's Loki, because if we think back to the passive, you had that extra 10% damage per Asgardian ally there, and that really could put Thor's damage numbers through the absolute roof. But what we'll do next is we'll check out enemies that you want to avoid when you're playing as Thor. When it comes to characters you want to avoid when playing as Thor, these are ones that can take advantage of his two main weaknesses, which are his low resistance and also his low attack speed. So if you can apply slow to him, it's going to pull his attack speed way down, and also you're going to have a high chance to apply it because of his low resistance. So two characters that could do that, but it's not limited to these two characters of course, would be Korath and Quake. They're both very nice powerful characters. You also have Black Widow. She can be pretty dangerous against them, as she can be against a lot of characters, but on slower characters, if that stun's applied then they're out the game for even longer. So they're ones that you want to avoid. But what we will do next with all that covered is we'll see where he sits in the tier list. For this tier system here then, we've got 5 different ratings, the most powerful one being a Mega, and that's on the left hand side, and as we work our way from left to right the characters get less powerful as we go all the way down to level 1 there. Now in regards to Thor's rating, I would say that he's an alpha character. He is a really quite simple character, and this was a nice simple video to do, something I'm never going to complain about, but despite that what he does incredibly well, and it's all about putting out a huge amount of damage, and the stun can be pretty nice as well when that does apply. Now I know we did talk about his weaknesses, which are the fact he's slow and he's also got low resistance, but to an extent that can be countered if you run in a team with Black Widow, then she can apply speed up, so even if he's slowed down, I believe the way that works is it would just actually negate it there, so it's not a complete disaster if that does happen. You also have the fact that he works really well with Cap, who can give him energy, and he in turn can give Cap extra block chance. And being an Omega character, if you can run one of your characters alongside an Omega one and they synergize even a little bit, then that's most definitely a bonus. So alpha rating for Thor there. So as always, do let me know in the comments below if you've got any thoughts and observations of your own. Fingers crossed I'll be unlocking Doctor Strange tonight, which means I should hopefully have an in-depth review for Doctor Strange up tomorrow if I can get him leveled high enough and get enough playtime on him as well, because I really want to get a good feel for a character before I do any of these videos. I don't want to rush them out just for the sake of getting them out. But as always, thanks for tuning in for this video, and I'll see you all again soon.